Welcome to Apex High School's Open House. I'm Carrie Piper, and I'm pleased to introduce myself as your student's teacher this semester. I've had opportunities to explore all over the world, and I hope to share those experiences with your student.
Your students will be coming up all of the stairs to join us in the top floor of Apex High School in 4313. In the front of the room, we've got the objective, the daily agenda, and the assessments posted so they always know what we're going to be doing.
We start the semester with our 0.0 Introduction to Earth Environmental Science unit, which is before we jump into the essential standards for the course, but lays the groundwork with safety, scientific method, graphing, and mapping that will need to be successful throughout the course. We then move on to 2.1 Lithosphere, where we look at the processes and forces that affect the lithosphere. So things like rocks, plate tectonics, earthquakes, volcanoes, soil weathering, and how to stay safe as the Earth changes around us. In 2.2 Lithosphere in Humans, we look at how human influences impact the lithosphere. So how do we use the land? How can we mitigate some of those issues we might cause on the land, like erosion? How can we extract resources from the land? And in this even unit, students will investigate an issue with the lithosphere as their first project. In 2.3 Hydrosphere, we look at the processes and forces that affect the hydrosphere. So how do our ocean currents move and transport energy around the world? How does the topography affect where our rivers and our water moves, both on the surface and under the surface? In 2.4 Hydrosphere in Humans, we evaluate how humans use water. So we're looking at issues not only of water quantity, but also water quality. And in this unit, students also complete a project. So they investigate a water issue somewhere around the world and really dig in to not only what's going on with that issue, but how can we solve it? And they're going to propose a solution. In 2.5 Atmosphere, students will understand the structures of and composition of our atmosphere. So they'll really start to understand how air masses are not only defined, but how they interact to create the weather we experience and how to predict the weather. In 2.6 Global Climate Change, students will analyze patterns of global climate change over time. So not only do we look at how we define climates around the world, but how they've changed in the past and how they're changing currently. What's causing these changes and what do we do about it? So in this unit, students complete a project where they not only propose a solution for climate change, but they actually do one thing to address that change. In 2.7 Biosphere, we start to put everything together. So we'll explain how the lithosphere, the hydrosphere, the atmosphere individually and collectively affect the biosphere, so all the living things that we have on Earth. 2.8 Sustainability ties back into the biosphere, and we evaluate how human behaviors ensure the ability to live sustainably on Earth. So we kind of lump 2.7 and 2.8 with a combined test, and we'll usually complete some kind of project together as an entire class. We finish things off with 1.1 Astronomy, which is explaining how Earth's role as a body in space. So we're looking at the different motions of Earth and how each of those motions affect the surface of the Earth and our ability to live here.
While students can log on to Canvas with their Wake County ID for all of the information about our course, it's also posted on my public website, Piper at the Peak. The calendar includes daily topics and assessments, as well as Wake County days like vacation days, holidays, end of the quarter, and teacher work days. The daily agendas include all of the course materials. They help me stay organized and hopefully will help your students stay organized. So it starts off with the unit that we're on, then the daily topic, and the objective, which is what they need to know and be able to do for our quizzes and tests. They can refer back to the presentation, get another copy of the guided notes, and refer back to the activity we did. Speaking of activities, these are designed to reinforce learning and build deeper understanding of our course objectives. Sometimes learning about our environment takes getting into it. So we'll also be doing field labs and observations in our outdoor areas. As I mentioned, all of the information on Piper at the Peak for you is available for your student within Canvas. In addition, they'll see in that right-hand column that to-dos, those are assignments for that day, or perhaps assignments that are missing and they still need to make up. So if your student needs some of those reminders, you can set yourself up as an observer with a pair code that your student can generate.
Students can also see all of their assignments and refer back to earlier assignments and quizzes under the modules or our units for the course. Ideally, they should be seeing lots of those green check marks for completed assignments.
Hopefully your student has been engaged throughout each unit and is ready to demonstrate their knowledge on our assessments. If not, they're encouraged to see me as soon as possible so we can discuss additional study tips. To ensure students can demonstrate their understanding in various ways, their classwork is worth 40% of their quarter grade, and quizzes, tests, and projects are the other 60% of their quarter grade. So you'll notice they'll need to complete both classwork and assessments to pass the course. These grades are posted in PowerSchool and updated about nightly.
I hope I've answered a lot of your questions about the course, but if you have any more questions, feel free to email me at kpiper@wcpss.net. And thank you for supporting your student.